Elon Musk is not playing 6D chess. Not at all. Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. Elon Musk has been in charge of Twitter for, what, a week, 2 weeks now? It probably feels like 2 years for him because it is falling apart. And so while it may have initially seemed like Elon Musk was going to come, he was going to change Twitter. And it seemed like this to right-leaning people, right-wing people who felt, who have a persecution complex, who have a victim mindset that, everything is against them. Oh, why can't we say anything? This was the rhetoric they were going on about. And listen, there was a left-wing bias, but by no stretch of the imagination were they being disallowed from saying anything. The threat that was posed was way overblown, but there was a bias, and it really would make itself manifest during election time. We saw what they did with the New York Post during the 2020 election and stopping them from printing the story about Hunter Biden. And at this point, it's like, okay, that was ridiculous. That story was true. And is there any accountability? Well, there has been, because Elon took over, fired, I think her name is Vijay Gad. I can't pronounce her name, but she's the lawyer, and she clearly has some left leanings and wanted to impose her personal beliefs on the content curation, which was a ridiculous idea in and of itself, because that's what created Parler. That's what created Getter. That's what created Truth Social. That made it so that other businesses came out to cater to people whose opinion wasn't appreciated by the Twitter team. But they felt that Elon was going to take over, and now right-wing people would be championed. They would be able to be doing the censoring. Trust and believe, they didn't want equality. They wanted to be the ones suppressing other people's voices. That's what it's always about. Correction. That's what it's often about. Despite the fact that Elon Musk had played into that idea, that notion, that wasn't Elon Musk's primary focus. Elon Musk was focused on making money. In fact, Elon Musk, in my theory, wasn't even planning on buying Twitter. He bluffed. They called his bluff. And then when he tried to back out, they're like, oh, no, you're buying this. You didn't get to make us put all this information out there, and now you're going to back out of it. So they went to sue him. And before a certain stage of the lawsuit had begun, he was like, okay, I have to hurry up and buy it before this date. So he closed the deal. He now owns it. And now he's trying to make money from it. And things are not going well. Things are not going well at all. In fact, things are collapsing. So with the $8 for verification, that in itself, once again, he keeps playing these games because he says he's doing this to make it, an even playing field where there's no more two-tier system. And I'm like, wait a minute, a pay-for-play system? You've just created a greater disparity. Because, let's say people in America may be able to afford $8 a month. But what about people in other countries where they make less than $8 a day? Do you see where this is going? And so when you're doing this with Twitter Blue, and it's not even just a matter of that's what gets you a check mark. That's what also gets you visibility. Now, it's basically saying if you don't pay, your voice gets suppressed. So this is an even greater disparity now being created, where you don't get visibility based on the reach of what you're saying, or the wittiness, or just how good it is, or how much people like it. Because if people like it and sharing it, that's not what you get visibility based on your ability to pay. I'm like, wow, that's a worse system, way worse system than a meritocracy of what you're claiming to be after. And the whole thing about the verification of people just being able to pay for a check mark. Well, now you have all kinds of unscrupulous characters paying to get check marks. And so people are like, wait a minute, but are you even going to be verifying people's identities? Won't bots and scammers be able to buy a check mark and impersonate people and make a boatload of money? And he's like, that'll never happen. So it started with left-wing people trolling Elon, and then it ended with people saying, wait a minute, we can do more than this. And they started impersonating mega corporations and mega businesses, and just making all kinds of, not even false information. A bunch of this information was actually true. But making actual admissions about horrible activity from these corporations that a lot of people didn't know or didn't remember. So you had companies like Eli Lilly actually lose billions of dollars behind this. And so now the verification system, the $8 Twitter Blue, has been temporarily suspended because that didn't work out as planned. Right now, Twitter is sinking faster than the Titanic. It's not looking good. And some people are like, oh no, well, it's just growing pains. But it's the fact that he had no plan. He came in there acting impetuously, and he didn't actually have a plan to start making money, not a reasonable plan. And he's doing a whole bunch of stupid moves that are actually backfiring and making Twitter worse than what it was. Now, one of the things he could have done is just stop the bias curation. That was one thing. But he fired a bunch of people. And now the funny thing about that is the layoffs in California, like there has to be a certain amount of period of advance notice for the layoffs, or you have to pay about 3 months severance. So either you give 2 months notice or you pay 3 months severance. I would definitely take the 3 months severance over the 2 month notice. That's not even a question. Like there's no question. I would rather take 3 months severance over 2 months notice. And if anybody is crying over the employees that got 3 months, I'm like, why? They made out like bandits, because 2 months notice means they have to keep working for their pay for 2 months. 3 months severance means they get all of that money, boom, and they get to either do something else. They could go get another job. So they're getting 2 paychecks, or they can just chill for the 3 months if they wanted to. Like they're good. They're good. Elon, with all that money he would have to pay out, he's not so good, because he's talking about Twitter could actually, bankruptcy is not off the table. So it's amazing of what happens. Like when you just jump out there, he was playing this culture war game, and he was operating that he could just monetize the culture war bullshit, because that's what his plan was. His plan was to monetize the culture war bullshit to get paid. But he failed to actually think it all the way through, that right-wing people like trying to, cheer on his power play weren't the only ones that would be paying for this verification. There are people that could say, oh wow, we can use this for nefarious purposes. Like he didn't think this through at all. And so now on Wednesday, there was the double check mark of the blue check and the official badge. That was scrapped within hours, but it's back now. It's back now for certain companies. And you still have the thing where if you click on the check, you get to see if the person has their check mark by being a significant or a public figure or whatever, or by just subscribing to Twitter Blue. Anyway, you cut it. Elon is not looking good right now. And Elon and Twitter is just imploding right before our very eyes. And it's kind of funny to watch. It's kind of funny. It's really funny to watch. As always, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, like, share, subscribe if you have not subscribed already. But if you disagree with me, if you think, no, Elon knows exactly what he's doing, go ahead and give me a thumbs down and tell me in the comment section, how many billions of dollars is Elon planning to win before he unveils his master plan? I'll see you next time.